Alright, so we've built our ramp. As you can see, we've got arc furnace on the ramp, we've got the ramp going over to Marge, so we have ease of access to both bases now. That was the first thing I wanted to do today. Now, we're going to build foundations all over this island. As you can see, a large part of this island is flat, and we're going to see how much of this island we can attach foundations on. And we might have to build quite a few more than we have. We have 70. I used to have 140, but somewhere along the way I seem to have lost those. So we're going to start right here. We're going to try to line it up so that it goes both to this point over here. Actually, we're going to, and to that mountain point. Now they might not line up exactly. And frankly, the more important point to me is the point on this mountain. So we're going to line up to there. That looks pretty good to me. We'll drop this right here. And from here, we're going to just connect foundations all over the place. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've built a bit of a pad. The reason I built this is just to flesh out what kind of space I have. And I actually have a lot more space than this. But I wanted to see what was truly flat. So here we go. This is a basic shape. This shape has nothing to do with the shape of the finalized base. It just gives me a chance to build above it freely, because you can build above a foundation without putting down any form of connection point, which I think is going to look a lot cooler for what I want to do than if I were to build big pillars all the way up. And I will have to do some work with ceilings and pillars as well here, because as you can see, it didn't quite go as far as I wanted. But I'm hoping to do that once I've built out some of the basic structural shape and gotten maybe closer to up here. I want to have one line, like I said, go to here, from here all the way across to at least here. And I might even cross these islands and have the actual base connect to the mainland. I haven't really decided about that one yet. This is a really long distance away. But there will be at least a bridge to here, if nothing else. So the first part of the base I'm going to be building is the central spindle. And to build that, well, I'm going to push my gamma up a little bit. To build that, I'm going to first place my elevator pad, because it's really important to me that I build this correctly and fit the elevator pad in really well. Central spindle will be the entrance point from the ground to my base. As I said, there will probably also be an entrance point from the mainland, and there'll be probably another entrance point for flyers on top of that, so there'll be about 3 good entrance points to the base. But as you may have noticed from other people's videos, falling is a thing here. Fallings are the real deal here, so we're not gonna, pretend that it never happens, because it sure as heck does. So we're gonna start by, taking that pad, fleshing out the size of the central spindle, which is gonna be fit around the size of that pad. Maybe around the size of something like a Mammoth 2, which fits pretty well on that pad, by the way, etc. So the pad will not connect without tracks, which is okay. I'm not planning on putting this up right now. The problem with building the base this way is you have all these areas where you can't walk up. Like I said, 90% of this is going to be gone once the base is done. So I want the pad to coincide, if possible, with both the point of the island, which is actually a little bit off of here, and the farthest point inland that I can get with these things. It's really, I really want to come up to here, but I don't have my farthest point. there, which means there's going to be a lot more building freehand, which is scary because building freehand means screwing things up more than I'm probably going to screw up anyway. But it looks like 3 over is actually better for both of my points, both my connection points, so we'll do that. We'll want to move back towards around the middle of this thing here. About here, I think. I'd like it to be... I'd like to be able to get to that point over there, where the water creatures are, fairly simply from this elevator shaft as well. So this looks pretty good. Now all we're going to do is look at the general size of this, and as you can see, it's basically 2 by 3, right? It's approximately the size of this, and it shouldn't be too hard to connect this to the middle of one of these foundations. But before we do that, we are for sure going to turn that foundation to metal, and we'll probably knock out some of these other foundations as well, so that we can put it into the ground. I want to have it, you know, in the ground, or perhaps set up so that you can get up to it by a ramp. Depends on, you know, it's going to be based on cool factor. This is a looks base. It's not going to be half as useful as other bases I've made, but it's going to look cool. Hey, look, it's the 100 thatch foundations I was looking for the last hour. Anyway, back to what we were working on. So as we were saying, we'll go 3 over. We'll run it about even to here. Maybe a little bit further back. I just, again, want to be sort of closer to the middle of this thing. About here. We'll look again with the pad for where that's going to be nicely placed. Looks like that's good. So we're going to knock this out. We're going to knock out the ones around. Now, the most important thing you got to do when you put the tracks in is to put them in facing the right direction. Tracks are a gigantic pain in the balls. I cannot express how big a pain these tracks. So we look and see which way it's pointing. It looks to me like it's pointing exactly right. Really don't want to waste one. Yep, it's pointed right. There's our track. There's our connected elevator platform and our track. I'm probably going to go out one more around the edge here and drop it ramps to make this look nice, if we can. Alright, so now that we've built the elevator, a lot of people would say, hey, you're starting with the most expensive part of your base, and aren't you being an idiot? Well, maybe. I could be being an idiot, but the truth is I am a little bit on the impatient side. I want to just get this stuff down and built. And that might cause me trouble later, because I am, you know, a little tired, a little impatient, hasty with my choices than I might be otherwise. And I do have some, there they are, metal foundation. So how are we building this? Well, the way I'm going to build the entirety of the bottom structure is to simply put the elevator in and build it as high as I can with what I brought with me. As you can see, it's pretty easy. Put in more track. Make sure I don't fall off the back. Really don't wish to dirt myself to death here. Break my thing where I always say, I've never died falling. Except for that one time. And then we just de-elevate, stop, and elevate again to the top. For the win. This might not even be as tall as I thought it was. Thank goodness I'm not scared of height. And it looks like we're getting pretty close to my target now, which is good because I figured 45 to 50 of these to make it to the top. And it sure looks like that's going to be the number. So as you can see, I didn't make it all the way to the top of the mountain like I wanted to. I probably need another, 4 or 5 of these things. But I made it pretty close. I think that's pretty close. So what I'm going to do now is test the speed of the elevator by telling this guy to follow me, throwing him off the side of the elevator. Let's see how fast he is next to this guy. Well, this guy, he's a lot faster than the elevator, it looks like, so far. They move at about the same speed as your normal flying Argentavis, or something of that nature. I've heard that these go about half the speed of a falling person. So, you know, here, I'm pretty sure I can survive this. Let's see how true that is. I'm down. I think that elevator is a lot slower than a falling person. That's okay. It's all good. Let's go ahead and close in our elevator shaft. Alright, so I've placed my first bunch of walls. You can start to see the shape the central spire is going to take. It's a very simple shape. Big box. Going to go way up in the sky. Big box. This is going to be straight open to that height so that you can walk your mammoth or, you know, anything else that's fairly large in here. Probably won't fit a brontosaurus, but I'm not looking to carry brontosauruses up into the sky. It actually might, because when they're on the pad they don't clip, so I could probably walk his front feet in and walk it and fly it straight into the base. I don't know if this is tall enough for a Bronto. That'd be the only question. And that's about the height I want to go to for the front opening, which I'll make in a second using ceiling tiles and more walls. Maybe I'll go one more up just to be safe. I believe we've got some ceiling tiles in here. We're going to probably need to make a lot more walls. That we're going to need to do. And when I say a lot more walls, I mean, you know, hundreds more walls. I think that central spire is going to be, based on the walls we just put down, about 500 walls just by itself. Which means a lot of work. And it'll be probably a little while before we record again. Probably when we get to the top of that spire. But let's show you how the front of this is going to look. Alright, so and I really think that's probably high enough, but we're going to go one more around the sides here. And we're going to run these ceilings now for the front, which should run across because there's a foundation underneath. And although this might not look like it's going to work, you'll see it passes right through there. Now I can build the front wall line across the front here now. And there we go. There's our front of our big open edifice. I'm considering closing this off entirely right there because, as I said, you don't clip. So if I ride this, I won't get crushed or anything. I think it would sort of look cool to have it just be closed. Just like, hi, game is closed right there. And I can run all my dinosaurs through that closed wall, and obviously nothing can get into the base while I have the elevator drawn up if I do that. Of course, if a person has to get in, and I've got the elevator up, you just walk up to this track and bring it down. But it looks cool if I close it up, so I guess we're going to do that. I may even paint that bottom of the floor some pretty garish colors to make it look like this, maybe black and yellow, to be screaming, danger, danger, you're running through a ceiling, bad things happened, bad things happen. We'll see. It's just a quick thought. Okay guys, so here's where we've gotten to today. We put down that big pad, you saw me put that down. We built the elevator. We made it so that you could put a fairly large dinosaur in this box. I decided that I didn't want some crazy funky thing where some Argentavis or whatever alpha dinosaur they add next that can somehow fly to come into the base. So I'm going to use the clipping mechanics of the elevator. And I've completely enclosed the spire. So you can just go straight through. And straight up. And as you can see, we got pretty far. We got a ways to go. We got pretty far with our big metal box. And the next thing we're going to do once we get to the top is flatten it out, create like a cube shape in the center, and then put long spires about the same thickness as the maybe a little thinner actually if I can do it, out to the four corners of the universe here. Basically, off the edges of this box. And that's going to be quite a lot of metal. So because of the huge amount of metal, I'm going to have to do a lot of farming. I mean, this was days of farming right here. So don't expect too many building videos out of me at a time, but they will be coming. And I will show you what I'm doing. That's it. Thanks so much for watching me. If you want to see some more cooler builds than mine, I suggest you check out Thor's builds. That's FTOG Thorgal. You can see what Brink's doing over at his new base, or any of the other Iron Mine crew. Don't forget Monkey Puzzle. He's building a big base with a bajillion towers, but they're all building out of stone except for Brink, because Brink is cool and the rest of them are jerks. See you later. Good. Hey folks, I thought I would give you an update on what I've been doing with the ice biome. It's dark, but I think it's sort of cool looking right now. So I'll show you where we've gotten with the tower that we showed you last time. It's come in soon. There's our elevator and our elevator shaft. It's a little hard to see. I'll push the gamma up. Our elevator and elevator shaft. It's almost finished. We're gonna complete the shaft today. And then we're going to start the next phase of the project. And all we're going to do is what I have been doing, which is, you know, flying in here, walking this bird, positioning it really carefully on this pad, and getting off and going to the top. You'll see I opened up one ceiling tile in the center here, because for a couple hours there was some kind of weird problem with the closed up area. And here's the inside of the tower. I'm thinking I'm going to paint this. I'm probably going to alternate the colors. Thinking sort of like a black and yellow danger pattern or something of that nature. I haven't decided. I also have to see if these tracks are paintable. It'd be pretty cool if I could paint the tracks a separate color. Probably a few colors. Try to stop our elevator. There we go. And we'll continue and hopefully finish this elevator shaft. Because if we don't, I'll feel sort of dumb. And I think I'm good enough on the height with the elevator shaft. We'll find out really soon. I'm trying to get it to be about equal to that mountain over there. The mountain has a rounded point, so I think we're going to be alright. It's taken me, you know, a few days to get this metal. This shaft used about 30,000 metal, and this is a really large amount of walls. I think it's something like 600 walls to make this. I'm actually sort of worried about running out of building parts. There is a finite number of parts you can hook to each other. And this building, the way I'm making it, might easily hit that number. So I might have to not do certain things I wanted to do. Actually, I already know I can't do certain things I wanted to do, because to create the crystalline structure I wanted to use on each of these wall pieces would take 12 pieces of material. So 12 times 600 is, let's check that real quick. I don't even have enough walls to finish. 12 times 600 is 7,200. So there's just no way in hell I can do that. Alright guys, I was hoping I had enough walls to get this done, but as you can see I'm off by exactly one line of walls. So it's really stinky. I'm going to go make some more walls and I'll be back. Alright, so yeah, we didn't have enough, so I'm heading back up to the top of the shaft now with another 22 walls, as you can see in my final thing over there. And I think that's going to be enough to finish this. At least I hope so. I didn't really count it, I just made as many as I could. So I'm not, you know, super anal about stuff, which probably serves me in bad stead at times like this. So here we are at the top. You're about to see the wall, or ceiling rather. I think I'm at the right height now. Not be wasting it. We'll see. See, it's a little scary going around Mr. Airbus here. Yay! We're done, and this isn't quite exactly the height I wanted, but it's close enough, I think. Look, we're really close. I think it'd be maybe one more track. If I were to take one more track up, I'd be right at the top, but I should be able to connect to that point, and I might be able to do something cool where I engage that point and engulf it inside the base, which might look really neat. I like using, if possible, parts of the environment. This base is sort of in your face. The last base I made actually fit into the environment quite a lot more than this one does. This does the opposite. Sort of says here, I'm a gigantic skyscraper. But here we go. Let's start the top of the base. We have foundations out there. So, I wanted that to be a little higher, but that's alright. We are almost certainly going up one more track, just so this fits better. Either that or I'll probably maybe put some ramps at the top of this. I'm a little surprised this didn't match out correctly, because it was matched on the bottom. But alright, so there's the top of the elevator shaft. It looks like I can really want to have to jump. I'll probably do something about that. I probably will run ramps the entirety of the inside of this. And next, we're going to build out. Probably quite a few. We're going to make a large square. A fairly large square outward. And that's going to be the center base. Most of the actual base is going to be in this central space that we're going to create. But there are going to be large outliers to this. We're going to see how big we can go with what we've got for ceiling tiles. Going around and around like this for quite a while. We also got to have 42 more of these. We'll be able to go around at least a couple times. And if you remember, we started by putting a really big number of foundations out. So even though I'm out 2 from the top here, I can still go out further. Just wanted to show you that, because we've got all those spots under there. That's why those exist, to allow this. Eventually I'll turn all those into metal down there too, just because. Maybe I'll do stone, but if something breaks those, I'm pretty screwed. But since the majority of things that come to this island, actually everything that comes to the land on this island, is a penguin, the chance of something coming and breaking my wonderful edifice here is probably low. As you can see, we still are over our thatch foundations. I'm pretty sure if we look, we'll be able to go out another one here. We should be able to. It didn't look like it was too happy with the idea of going out another one here. Here you can see, you can go out. I just wanted to show you, it doesn't stop. So we're able to use this floating, sort of floating tower idea. And it is scary as hell up here. I think I have some ramps made up. If not, I'll knock up some ramps. Just because I really want to be able to walk in my encumbered ass up off that elevator without any real problems. This should give you a pretty good idea how high we are. Always good to waste ceiling tiles. They're not. They're nice and cheap. Anyway, go down and see if we got any more ceiling tiles down there. These walls won't go to waste. And you can take a look from the side here and see what we've got going so far. Go out quite a bit further. I'm just going to keep going around and around and keep it square. At least I hope I'm keeping it square. It's possible to stop keeping it square. It looks like we have actually gone way too far on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on one side and 1, 2, 3 on the other. So I'm going to have to build further out over here to get this all evened out. Quite know how I did that. You guys probably saw me do it and go, hey, you're screwing up. But that's the next thing. It's going to be a big, big cube. right in the middle here. And from that cube, we'll start running our longer sides. Alright guys, I will see you next time when we get another bajillion metal, and I'll show you, I'm going to build out the top of that without showing it on the channel. And then we'll go and see what we're going to do next. See you in a bit.